Hi all, welcome to video 21 of genai using langchain and databricks playlist. So we have completed around 20 videos of this playlist, and this is 21st video. And with each and every video, I think you are seeing we are going more details and more advanced level of learning generative AI using langchain and databricks, right? Now, in last video, we have seen, how to pass message history dynamically, right, using message placeholder. And I gave you an assignment. I hope you have solved that. Please put your answers in the comment section for previous video. Okay. Now, from this video, we will see how to make LLM output structured, right? I'll explain what do I mean by structured and all that stuff, right? But this video is for giving introduction to structured output in LangChain. We are going to learn all the concepts first in depth, right? And then from next video, we are going to start with the coding, right? So this is going to be a theoretical video. I'm telling you in advance, right? But just don't ignore this video. It is very important to understand this conceptually so that when we start learning from next video, you will be able to relate what we are trying to learn, right? Now, basically, LLMs talk to human in natural language. We all know that, right? LLMs talk to human, right? Human in natural language, right? And the examples, I think we have seen lot of examples, right? For example, this, right? I have asked it, I have given it some messages, right? I have asked some question, right? Explain in simple language what is the topic, okay? And it has given me the response. So this response is in natural language. So LLMs talk to humans in natural language. Now we will learn how to make LLM talk to other systems like database or APIs, right, etc. Now, what do we mean by getting structured output, okay, from LLM? So, getting structured output from LLM means asking it to return the answer in a fixed format, right? So, to ask LLM to return the output, return the output in fixed format, okay? Like let's say JSON, like JSON, right? Python dictionary, right? Python dictionary or class object, right? Or any structured, way, instead of just asking for free flowing text, right? So let's say unstructured response, for example, if I see one of the any unstructured response, sample unstructured response can be the customer is unhappy and the sentiment is negative, right? This is the way LLM can respond human, right? What if we want to make this output structured? How it will look like, right? Structured output would be, let's say, if we ask LLM to return the output in some JSON format, right? Or as a Python dictionary, right? So how it will respond? Let's say sentiment is negative. Sentiment is negative. Some parameter we are putting for customer confidence, right? So customer confidence, right? For this sentiment, for negative sentiments, okay? How negative it is? It is, let's say, 92% negative, right? And what is reason for this negative reason? Okay, reason can be, we can mention like customer complained about some delay issue, right? Customer complained about delayed delivery, right? So this is the example of structured output, okay? And this is the example of unstructured output, natural language, right? Now, this is very important in real world application because computers understand structured data, okay, much better than natural language, okay? So if we want our LLM to interact with other systems like databases, mostly we ask LLM to interact with databases in real life scenarios, right? There we are looking for structured output, right? Now we will see why structured output, right? It is very important to understand the why part, whatever we are learning, it is very important to understand the why part of it, right? So why structured output is important? Let's see that. Okay. First reason why structured output is important is easy for machines to read. For machines, structured output is easy to read. Okay, humans can understand plain English easily, but programs cannot, right? I'll give you one example. Let's say unstructured output. Okay, this one, unstructured response and structured response. Not this one. I'll give you another example. Okay, let's remove this. Okay, the unstructured response. Let's say I am asking LLM a question about the user, right? Give me the user's age and the user's city, right? And LLM's response is, let's say, user's age is 25 and he or she, right, lives in let's say Pune. Okay, he or she lives in Pune, right? This is unstructured response. Now, if I ask LLM, there are few methods using which we can ask LLM to give a structured response, right? So age would be, let's say, 24, and it will be giving me city as, let's say, Pune, right? Now, this output is easy to handle for machines, right? This is some, let's say, JSON or Python dictionary, right? And if I store this as, let's say, response, right? And I want to access the age for some age related analysis we are doing, right? So I can directly access that as this way, right? Okay. On the other hand, taking age, extracting age from this is very hard for programs, right? So this is the first reason why structured output is important, right? Next thing, next reason is reduce parsing errors. Okay. Now, if I ask LLM this question every time, right? Let's say I ask LLM this question 3 to 4 times or to different models, right? Different models will respond in different way, right? For example, let's say model 1 is responding to me. Model 1 is responding to me like this, right? The model over here is LLM model, right? No other model I'm referring to here. Okay, model 1, model 2. The another model can respond me is user is living in Pune, having age 25, right? Having age 25. Okay. uh Third LLM model can respond me, let's say, uh users, right? Users city is Pune. Okay, and user's age is 25, this way, right? So now your code is, it is definitely hard for a machine to handle this, right? This unstructured outputs. On the other hand, structured output, if I ask to any of these models, I'm going to get this, right? So to reduce the parsing errors, it is very important to get the structured output. Structured output ensures the consistency, right? Structured output ensures the consistency, right? These are the reasons why structured output. Second reason why structured output is important, right? Third thing, I think already we have said easier integration, right? Easier integration with APIs or databases, right? Using, if we get structured output, if I'm getting this output, right? I can store this in some databases, I can store this in some table, right? And reuse that. Okay. So basically most systems communicate using structured formats like JSON, right? For example, let's say I want to save some customer support ticket details, right? Customer is asking for let's say cost 1 ठीक है. Let's say I have some incident 1 2 3 4, right, and details, right. These are the some details I have, for example. Okay. Okay, and I want these details to be stored in some database, right, some table. So I'll have some ticket ID, let's say what is that here, inc1234, right, inc1234. Okay, then I'll be having the priority, right, as set by the user, right, or decided by LLM or decided by human anyway, right. And then the what is the category of the error. Okay, category of the error is, let's say, payment related issue, some payment related issue, right. Now this output, whatever I'm getting from LLM, is this can be directly inserted into database, right. So easy to insert into database, or can be easily sent via API, right. And this makes the integration and communication between systems easier, right. Fourth, enables automation, right. Structured output enables automation. Now structured output can trigger the workflows automatically, right. For example, if LLM is responding, let's say severity status, right, for, let's say, this above ticket, this one only, right. Let me copy this one. Okay, priority is there, payment, but severity, right, severity is, sorry, severity is also very high, right, or critical, let's say critical. Okay, so now I can make my downstream system to trigger the next flow, right. If, let's say, severity is critical, so this incident should be handled as a first priority, right. So what I can do, I can create the downstream application where it will create urgent data ticket having category, having priority as high, severity as critical, right. So based on let's say based on severity, right, system can create, let's say, Jira, create high priority Jira. Okay, create some Teams alert, right, for for identified let's say backend engineers, or for identify engineer, right. And email also to DL, right. We have some DL distribution list. Based on severity status, it will email to distribution list also, right. So structured output helps in enabling automation without human intervention, right. Next thing, number 5, right, better validation, right. Structured output helps to validate any output in better way, right. For example, there is something called pydantic, which we are going to learn in upcoming videos, right. We can validate the response format, right. So generally how pydantic is defined. Okay, I'm just giving you uh, a basic understanding. If you are not able to understand this, fine, do not worry, right. Let's say there is some class I'm creating. Okay, this is the way we do in pydantic. Okay, and I'm asking that age should be integer, right. If age is not an integer, this will throw an error. Okay, so if I get age as, let's say, 40, right, then before triggering any next flow, the validation is going to fail here, right. And this will prevent the bad data, right. Prevents bad data, right. So structured output helps in doing better validation, right. Fine. The next and the probably the last, let's say, reason why structured output is important is it is useful for downstream AI pipelines. Useful for downstream AI pipelines. Okay. Let's say I have the LLM pipeline. Okay. I'm sending the first, let's say, prompt to LLM. Okay. My prompt one is, let's say, give me hot, one hot topic, right? One hot topic. Okay. Whatever it is. Okay. The next step I want it to do is once this topic is received, I want second prompt would be right to another LLM generate um, article on the topic. Okay. Now this topic thing, right? If I get the output from first LLM as this way, topic, let's say databricks, right? It is easy for my second prompt to understand the topic, right? It is easy for downstream whatever AI pipeline or any other pipeline we are using, right? It is very easy to understand for downstream AI or data engineering pipelines without structure. Now here it is giving me some hot topic, right? The topic is, let's say, databricks, right? So answer of this prompt would be dependent on, it is different for different models, right? So we will make it consistent and this prompt will have the topic present in the JSON, right? As simple as that. Okay, fine. So these are around 5 to 6 reasons why structured output is important. And if you are currently working on generative AI, any project in your organization, you will relate this, right? Why you are creating structured output from LLMs. Okay, fine. Now what we will do, we will understand few real world use cases of structured output, right? Just few examples for our understanding, right? Let's say first example is customer, right? Support, customer support automation. Okay. Now, let's say I'm getting an input from customer on chatbot, like my payment failed twice and money also got deducted twice, right? Now I'll develop some LLM application, right? I'll write some prompt which will give me output in, let's say, this format, for example. Okay. So from this input of user to my chatbot, okay, what output I'm expecting, what is category of this issue, right? This is payments, for example, right? What is priority, right? This payment has failed twice, so my LLM will decide, right, the priority. Okay, or we can have few predefined priorities to guide the LLM, right? The next I can get is sentiment, right? What is the sentiment of this statement? Okay, negative, right? Now based on this, right, based on this output, my downstream flow can be routed to finance team. So route we can route this user, let's say, feedback. Okay, or not feedback, user issue, it actually user issue to directly finance team. Okay, finance team, and mark as urgent, right? Because customer has done a payment twice and it has failed twice and money also got deducted twice, right? So it is, let's say, customer support automation, we can um, design this way, my customer is going to type their emotions or whatever they are facing in natural language. I'm going to send it to LLM and extract the output using, let's say, this structured format. And based on this structured format, my next downstream is going to be triggered, right? Fine. The next use case can be resume screening, right? Resume screening. Okay. Now, we have a lot of things in the resume, right? We all know. Let's say here input is candidates resume, right? Okay, I can send the resume to my LLM, right? I'll write some prompt, and the output format I want is, let's say, I want name, right? Name in the output. Okay. Next thing is skill set, right? Let's say skills, right? I'll get some Python list as skills, right? Let's say Azure, right? Azure Cloud, or let's say Python, right? Python, okay, and let's say langchain, right? Langchain, or whatever skill set name. Let's say it is Ganesh, right? Skill set, and then let's say total experience. Total experience would be some 5 point whatever 7, right? Now if I get this output, okay, my next, let's say I have written some custom code, I want only those candidates having skill Python, right? So this candidate I'm going to select. Let's say there is any other candidate, okay, and I'm going to simply access the skill, right? Output skills, right? This way, any programmatic way we can access this, and we can filter the resume very easily, right? Here maybe we will put some resume id, right? Some, I think there is some id like this gets generated, no? Yeah, this way, right? So whatever resume is having Python skill, I'm going to just filter those resumes. That's all, right? So the filtering, screening of resumes become very easy if we get structured output from LLM, right? Now, next thing, the next use case can be data extraction from documents, and I have done this in one of my projects, right? We have one, let's say PDF, okay? Let's say I have some PDF where invoice details are mentioned, okay? N number of invoices are there, and I want to extract the details from that PDF and store in my database, okay? So input can be invoice PDF, okay, and output, let's say I want simple output, okay, invoice number, okay, whatever 1 2 3 4 5 would be a dummy invoice number I'm writing. Invoice amount would be some, let's say 3000, right? And invoice date, right? Let's say some 2026 0420, anything, whatever, right? So now these details, I'm feeding input as all the PDFs to my LLM, right? Or PDF with n number of pages, and I'm extracting the details in this JSON format, and these details I can save or I can insert to my raw table, right? And from there onwards, you can start your data engineering work, right? I think you might be aware of some medallion architecture where you have bronze, silver, and gold layers, right? So I can store these details in my bronze table, and then I can make them flow right, in downstream, okay? So this is real world application. I personally worked on this application, okay? The next can be SQL query generation, right? Let's say I'm getting few input from user. Okay, let's say I'm looking for table name, right? For which table you want to generate the SQL query. Let's say sales table. User has given me the input, right? Any filter you want to put, right? Filters. Okay. So filter is like year equals to 2025, something like that. Okay. And the next aggregation, right? Aggregation, any aggregation. This is very simple example I'm giving, but any aggregation I want to do, let's say sum of revenue, right? These details I'm getting from, let's say there is a business user. I'm asking them, I'll give you a SQL query. My LLM will give you a SQL query. Just feed me these details. Okay. And once I send these details to my LLM, okay, it will be able to generate a query. Let's say select star from sales, right? Select star, sum of revenue, group by all or group by whatever, right? So this way, SQL query also or any other code also, if we want to, if we can give structured details to LLM, it will again give us the SQL query, right? Now, um, what I next is content moderation, right? And this is useful for especially for social media apps. Okay. Now, uh, let's say my input is some abusive text is there, right? Some abusive text is there. I'm not writing the actual text, okay, but this text I'm passing to LLM, right? And I'm looking for let's say two things from LLM. Okay, give me if this is toxic or not. Okay, true false. And next thing is, let's say some toxicity score, right? Some toxicity score we are determining. Okay, let's say point um, uh, 87, right? Now based on this, right, we can put some limit like if it is toxic is true, and if toxicity score is greater than some 60% or 70%, then we can consider this message, right, as abusive. Okay, and we will report that message, or do something based on the program we are setting. But this content moderation, I mean whatever abusive text we are getting, we can get the structured output from LLM. Okay, and we can trigger the next flow based on that output, right? The next use case can be AI agents. Okay, you might be hearing this a lot, and we are going to have the playlist on AI agents also after we complete this langchain. Okay, so basically we need to call some tools, right? Let's say I want to call some weather API. Okay, and I want the output, I want the weather details for Pune, right? So I can, okay, my LLM will pass, let's say, these details, right, to my downstream agent. Okay, call the tool. There is some tool that we have given access to our agent. Okay, what it will do, it will call weather API tool, and it will give me the weather for Pune, right? So this AI agents or tool calling is also one of the best example, we can say, which is real life example of structured outputs. Okay, now let's say there is some e-commerce search. Okay, for example on Amazon, right? E-commerce search. Okay, let's say I implement some chatbot. Okay, where user input is I am looking for black Nike shoes under 500, right? This is what, let's say, user will input. Now from LLM, okay, structured output, I'll pass this to LLM, okay, and I'll get a structured output for filtering purpose from LLM, okay. So it will be having brand name, brand, right? The brand is what, Nike, right? Then color is, let's say, black, right? You all know we apply filters or Amazon, Flipkart, or any other, right? The e-commerce platform you are using. Budget, let's say 500, okay, seems very low budget, but that is fine. Product type, okay. Shoes, right? Shoe, right? Now this this structured output I can pass to my e-commerce website, okay, and it will query the product catalog, or it will do filters, and it will show the results on the screen for this user, right? User don't need to do anything. They can just give me the one liner, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for that, okay, that's all, okay. So these are few use cases, right? Very few use cases we have seen for structured output. There are lot many actually. Okay. Now there are two types of LLMs that exist basically. If we consider the structured output, right? LLMs for structured output, right? The first type of LLM is these are those LLMs which generate structured output by default, right? Generate structured output by default. How we will see that, right? And second, LLMs are there which do not generate structured output by default. Okay, structured output by default. The output needs to be parsed separately, right? Okay, so it will generate some string output, right, text output, and we need to parse that output separately. Okay, now as the next video we'll be starting with this first introduction to these LLMs, right, where structured output is generated by default, right? And these are two types of LLMs that exist, and after we complete this, the next part would be we will be seeing those LLMs which are not generating structured output by default, and we will get our introduction to the output parsers in LangChain, right? Okay, fine. I think this was a little longer video, but it was very important to understand, right, what is structured output, what use cases we can handle using structured output, right? What are the types of LLMs that exist if we think of structured output, right? Okay, from the next video, we are going to start with hands-on practicals, okay, considering structured outputs in LangChain, right? That's all for this one. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one.